Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. What the fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me.
What's up,
just by
everybody?
how your
Welcome to the
face
Phil
look.
Leroy
You can
Judgemental
check the
Podcast.
status.
What's up, everybody? This Phil back in the house.
And I'm Leroy. So what's going on, Phil?
Nothing much, just waiting for this fantasy football draft to get it rolling. It's supposed to start at 3 o'clock.
So yeah, we're together this episode, and we're at the Northeast, and we're waiting for a fantasy football draft that Philip is involved in. I guess I got to do it too. So, all right, so we do a little mini NFL preview. So I'm gonna ask the first question to Phil is, what you think about the Eagles this year?
I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got a real young squad, but we got a nice little veteran mix, you know what I mean, on both sides of the ball that's going to help the young bulls. I'm glad that we kept Zach Ertz because he's a good player. And after this year, he'll be the all-time Eagles reception leader, breaking Harold Carmichael's joint. So
Right.
I like him.
Right. Well, they do need a lot of veteran. I'm really disappointed in the Eagles' core wide receivers because they're so young. They're so young, and to have a young quarterback, you need a veteran wide receiver there. Now, if you want to count Zach Ertz as a
I count,
receiver,
yeah. You
Okay.
count. Only tight ends that catch the ball like that, because you know how you have the blocking tight end and then you have the receiving tight end.
Right.
If you got a receiving tight end, you can include him as part of the receivers.
Right.
So our veteran receiver would be Zach Ertz, and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to let these young boys shine. Like Rieger, he didn't do nothing last year, in and out, but he was a first-round pick. Or he was a first-round pick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this year he needs to show us something. You know what I mean? And the same with Smith. Smith was my guy before we drafted him. That's what I wanted us to get. We got him, so he needs to show and improve. You know what I mean?
Right. So, well, you know the offensive guard that we got. He's week 8. He'll get in there week 8. I know you don't like that.
I can never understand picking up someone injured or drafting someone injured. That's the wrong answer. You know what I mean? But they're good for doing stuff like that.
Right.
Philadelphia team, not just the Eagles.
Right. So, what you think about the defense?
The defense, I think we got a solid defense. I mean, it do helps that we're in the NFC East, so we can bust a whole bunch of these fucking teams' ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only really got, as far as the quarterback, that could worry about is Dak. You know what I mean? Because the other two teams, the Giants, ain't nobody scared of no Jones. And then you got the Redskins. Who's their quarterback? Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
We're not scared of him. Like, so really you just got Dak. And will his injury, is he going to be 100%? Like, you know what I mean? He can easily get knocked out the game. So I think we got a good chance.
So, what you see in their final record?
I think we're going to win 10 games.
10-6.
7. It's extra
10-7.
game.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
10-7. And that's not hard. You know what I mean? 17 games, you win 10. Shit, we had the worst quarterback in the league last year, and we won 4 games. So, you know what I mean? We should be fine.
Okay.
What you think we're going to do?
Like you said, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. If you look at ESPN and all these educated sports people, they make it seem like the Eagles are like the Jacksonville Jaguars or something.
Yeah,
And they're
exactly.
not. The Eagles had a lot of injuries last year.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it, they pretty much have the same team back
Yep.
this year.
With added pieces.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the defense wasn't a problem
Right.
last year. There's a lot of people got hurt. So 10-7, I'll give you that. I'll give you 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you 10-7.
One of my doctors that I work for, he said the Eagles was only going to win 6 games, 7 at the most.
But they're not that bad. They didn't.
He believed he is. We got a lot of speed. We got speed at the quarterback. We got speed at the receiver position. We got speed on the defense. Like, we got speed, and speed kills when they use it right.
Mm-hmm. So, how you feel about the Eagles not having faith in their quarterback?
I think that's an Eagles problem because we should have never drafted Jalen Hurts if we had faith in Carson Wentz. You got to let your star quarterback shine, and when they struggle,
I disagree.
you got it. We had a high 2nd round pick. We can draft something that can help Carson Wentz, but instead you get a quarterback that's going to sit on the bench.
Did it work out for him?
It would have worked out if we would have had another position there. We could have had the receiver from Minnesota,
Yes.
Jefferson. We could have had him, and I bet you Carson Wentz would have played better.
But did it work out? Did it work out for
We
him?
don't know if it worked out yet or not because we don't know how.
Carson Wentz is hurt, got the COVID.
Right, but what I'm saying, that can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? So
I think it was.
So
I thought it was a good.
we won't
move
know.
then.
We won't know until a year or two how Jalen Hurts turns out.
See, I wasn't
You know what
talking
I mean?
about that. I was talking about how they traded for Minshew. They traded for Minshew.
Well, it's all together because you can't talk about one without the other. Like, so we got rid of
Yes, you
Carson
can,
Wentz.
because that worked.
So
That
we
worked.
got rid of. First, we wasted a draft pick and drafted a quarterback when we just gave a quarterback $100 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that. And then you traded Carson Wentz, so you're supposed to get a young boy to start. But they never said he was the starter until the very last minute. They named him the starter.
Yes.
Like, show faith in him. If he's running the first team offense, he is your starter. Like, you got rid of Carson Wentz and used a high second round pick on him, so he is your starter. Who wastes his picks like that? You know what I mean? So then to bring Gardner Minshew in here, another young quarterback that another team believed in. So as soon as Jalen mess up, you're gonna throw Minshew in there?
Yeah, because they don't have no faith in him.
So Minshew already showed what he can do for Jacksonville. He didn't do much there. So now we're back to square one, looking for quarterback in the draft again.
Right.
Stop wasting picks on quarterbacks and have faith in somebody and roll with them.
That's true. That's true. Now, what you think about the you an Eagles fan? Oh, no. Oh, you didn't just hear him just talk shit on your team, did you?
I walked over there. I didn't.
He was talking shit on your team.
I did
Dak.
not.
They ain't have no faith in. He don't care about Dak, and he might get
I
hurt.
said the
again.
only one we have to worry about is Dak, but who knows, he can easily get hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's not talking shit. That's stating facts.
Oh, so you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because he was hurt
Yeah.
last year.
That's a little bit.
He
You
got hurt
can.
a little bit the year before. Not as big, but if Dak stays healthy, I think it's actually if Dak stays healthy, I think you'll have a better looking Zeke this year also. 'Cause that
I
was one
agree.
of the
I agree,
problems
'cause-
last year.
So like last year, they just stacked the line and said beat a Zeke. You know what I mean? Or beat not Zeke because we're gonna stop Zeke. Y'all whoever your backup quarterback is, he's gonna have to do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So now if you have a proven quarterback back there, you gotta respect it. And by respecting that quarterback is going to open up the lanes for your running
And
backs.
they had Andy Dalton back there.
Yeah.
Now he's in Chicago. They still don't know what they're doing down in Chicago.
Well, he's a starter now, and they got a high quarterback. Like, you got to let these quarterbacks play. It's one thing if they're late picks, but these first, second round quarterbacks, if you don't have a quarterback, they need to be out there playing. You know what I mean? If you already have a starter, they're not going to understand letting them hold the clipboard for 1 or 2 years. You know what I mean?
So,
You got to have some faith in them. You're right. I think they get. I mean, I'm not saying Wentz is the best quarterback, but this is not the first time it's happened. So you have to have that faith in quarterback.
right. So, have you been watching Hard Knocks?
No, I only watch. I keep forgetting them. I keep forgetting about it. I only seen the first episode.
Well, you know it's the Cowboys for this year.
I haven't been watching. I've been working a lot. So
Oh, okay. So now, what's the final record of the Cowboys?
Cowboys. I think they'll have a winning record this year. I think we're 17 games this year. I think they can easily go 9-8 or 10-7.
Okay. So they
I say 9-8.
Or 9-8.
10-7. You said 10-7.
Nah, I say
Oh, I'm
for the
talking-
Cowboys.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
realistic about it. I think they'll be one of those two.
Okay.
And I think everybody's, I think Washington football team actually, they're supposed to have a good defense this year. And I'm not too hard on Ryan. I think Ryan can throw the ball. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He can throw the ball, but he's inconsistent, and that's his problem. When he look good, he look good, but when he look bad, he look bad. That's why he been hanging around the league. Everybody want that spark that he got it, but when he ain't got that spark, man, you need to do a quarterback.
But I
Okay.
think they'll give a little showing this year. You know what I mean? I don't know
Right.
what's going to happen in the division this year, to be honest with
Okay. Everybody.
It's over.
you. Yeah.
We're gonna start with. All right. Question for. I'm gonna start with you first. Two teams that's going to the Super Bowl: AFC and NFC.
Good question. It's a really good question. I think I still think Kansas City still has a good chance to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
The AFC.
Okay.
NFC. You got San Francisco that has a good chance because they're bringing all their players back that's hurt. Who's hurt? I don't know. You might see San Francisco and and Kansas City.
Okay, San Francisco and Kansas City, Phil.
I'm probably gonna be Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
I knew you was gonna say Tampa Bay. Well, I'm gonna say Kansas
They
City.
bringing the
also.
same team back, and they
Yeah, but you don't know Brady is how old, and you don't know when that's gonna hit him. Because it hit Peyton Manning.
when it hit him, it hit him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you don't know.
I understand that.
Because it looked like it almost hit him last year, but he came
It
back
didn't look
together.
like it.
Yes,
It
it
didn't
did. They
look
weren't
like
doing shit.
He was
at the beginning
playing
of the
good.
season.
He was playing good. Look at his name. Look at his numbers.
I say Kansas City for the AFC. NFC, you know what? I'm going to go with Seattle.
They got Russell Wilson having a down year this year. I don't know why. Maybe his line is banged up or something, but they don't think he's going to do nothing this year.
Okay.
What about Chris Carson? Because he was hurt most of last year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just saying they thinking they're not going to do nothing this year. I can see them playing good. I mean, they got a good squad. As long as you got a good core, you going to be there. You know what I mean? But that 49er pick sound like a joke to me.
Why?
Like, for one, they ain't. Usually the teams that go to the Super Bowl make noise the year before. Even if you don't win,
They had injuries.
it doesn't.
A lot of injuries
Okay,
last
so they had a lot of injuries. So now this would be the year no injuries where everybody learn how to gel. You don't gel and make it to the final. You know what I mean? You gel, and then the next year after that, that's when you kick in the door.
Now, I'm not saying Garoppolo is your.
Well, who is the quarterback?
I think it's Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Garoppolo is the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody worried about them. Ain't nobody worried about the
I just
49ers.
I think their defense will be a little better this year, only because they had a lot of injuries last year.
You got to put points on the board though.
All right, now, going back to you. Now, who's the MVP of the league?
MVP of the league this year.
Yes.
Wow. I think it'll be a running back.
Like who?
I think it'll be one of the normal big running backs like a Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook.
You trust Derrick Henry this year? 2,000 yards last year, and he's going to put MVP numbers this year?
Yeah,
I get 2,000.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry. If Dalvin Cook stay healthy, he could be MVP easy.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think it's going to be a running back too?
One of those two.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Well, Derrick Henry had 2,000 yards last year. He didn't get MVP. So I'm going to go with, last year it was Aaron Rodgers, right? So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, MVP. It's kind of, for a running back, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, especially when you got quarterbacks now, and this is a passing league. You got quarterbacks getting 4,000, 500, I'm about to say 500,000. 5,000 yards of passing. That's kind of hard for a running back to get. It's very difficult.
Now, I think that, that they added Julio Jones. Not to say Julio Jones is, he's probably on a downslide, but I think it's a better upgrade from what they had last year. It might help Derrick Henry out a little bit because they look out for Julio Jones.
Right.
And I'm not that, a lot of people don't like Tannehill. I actually like Tannehill.
Oh,
Ever since he left Miami.
Hey, look, I've been talking about Tannehill ever since he was in Miami.
Yeah, I actually like Tannehill. I just think he had a bad squad in Miami when he was in Miami.
Tannehill's problem is he always get hurt. Mm-hmm. But since he's been playing with Tennessee, he hasn't been getting that many injuries.
No.
Yeah, they always shitting on him. I'm like, he's not bad if you look at his numbers. His problem is he always got injured when he was in Miami. But yeah, I'm a Tannehill
Even
fan.
when you're drafting in fantasy football, you always notice he's like the lower rated. Like people don't pick him till like he's the lower rated draft, one of the ones drafted. And I think he'll have a pretty good year.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a bad year last year.
Nope. Nope.
Not at all.
Nope, he got the wide receivers. The problem with Tennessee last year is the defense was horrible.
Yeah.
That defense was horrible last year, and they couldn't stop nobody. They were like the type of team where they had to score a whole bunch of points.
Yeah.
Now, if they didn't score a whole bunch of points and the game was close, they're going to lose because they don't have the defense. The defense couldn't stop nobody.
Yeah. Now, didn't they lose their tight end to, was it New England, lose their tight end in New England?
Did they?
What was the tight end name?
He actually had a.
Yeah, that was Jonnu Smith, and he got traded or picked up as a free agent. I don't know, to New England, so he'd be with New England. I'm not sure who their starting tight end is. They got a good offense though, so I can see them. I can see Tennessee doing something this year. They might not make it to the championship, but I can see them doing something, making some noise. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, question for all three of us. It's a question for us. What you think of Deshaun Watson? Is he playing this year or?
I think not to pick him up in fantasy football. I'll tell you that much. It's a lot going on.
I think he might miss the first 8 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
The first 8 games for what though?
Because the NFL like to do shit like that when you get in trouble.
Yeah, they think bad on that. They want a good model, role model, and they don't know if it's. I just see him missing a lot of games this year.
I'm glad the Eagles didn't pick him up.
True.
And
True.
another old can of worms we got to deal with.
Right. Yeah, he'll definitely play, but 8 games is a little bit too harsh. Especially if you haven't been charged with anything.
They do it all the time to players that ain't been charged.
Yeah, I don't like the you're right, because I don't like the AJ Peterson. That whole Peterson thing about beating his kid.
But see, he was charged with something. Wasn't he charged?
I don't think so.
He didn't go to any type of court or
No.
whatever?
They brought him in and questioned him, but he didn't have to go to court or
No.
anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Agent Peterson got a.
The NFL
it
just
hurt him
smacked
on that one. Yeah. So they don't like they don't like seeing stuff like
Right,
that.
it looked bad.
Yeah.
And then they got to hear it from a lot of fucking people and shit. I guess it's probably moms and shit like that. And you know what I mean? They're going to be like, you going to let him play? So they try to calm it down, keep his face out of the spotlight. After 8 weeks, you forget about him. And then when he do come back, it kind of flies under the radar.
Right. Okay, so do you want to do defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year? It's hard. I ain't been up on my defensive players right now, but I don't know.
There's a lot of good players out there. I'm not up on it like that. I know there's a lot of good ones out there. Maybe if we say what position they're playing, I would say maybe a linebacker.
Okay. Do you have your linebacker?
There's a lot of good ones out there. What's the one in Minnesota? Kendricks?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
See, I think Donald.
Well, they're
he's unstoppable.
they'll double team him, and his sack numbers will start coming down as they get enough footage and tape. You know what I mean? So last 2 years he's been dominating, but his numbers been, I think, going down.
Now what about Bobby Wagner? He's still having good years.
Mm-hmm.
He don't put dominating numbers up though. He put good numbers up, but they're not dominating numbers.
Okay. All right. I'm just thinking of more questions. You have any questions, Phil? Because you sitting around on your phone.
No, I don't have any questions. Just get it rolling. You know what I mean?
Get what rolling?
This draft, this fantasy draft.
Where they at?
How long have we done the podcast? This is about episode.
About 20 minutes. No, we can pause it. We can always pause it and jump back up to it.
Do you think Miles Sanders is going to get 1,000 yards this year?
If he don't get hurt.
Well, whenever we talk, we always say if he don't get hurt, do you think he's going to get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but is this going to be a running back by committee type of thing?
Well, who you got? Miles Sanders, Boston Scott.
And they got another dude.
Yeah.
I think he will. I like him. He need to learn how to catch. But he can run the ball good. You know what I mean? He's probably better than Saquon Barkley now.
Right. Now, is he going to fumble?
Well, he a little dude. The little dudes do fumble. That's what that's they playing on. They game plan to strip him. You know what I mean?
Now, is Jalen Smith going to have a
Yeah, I was going to say, because you got a running quarterback now. That might affect him.
Is Jalen Smith going to... Let's predict what we think Jalen Smith going to do, like numbers-wise.
I say 700.
Like this?
700.
700 yards? How many catches? How many touchdowns?
10.
10 touchdowns? That's a lot. I'm going to say 60 catches, 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. And that's good for him.
Well, we not that far off.
Now, you said Jalen Rieger we're talking?
No,
Not
Smith.
really. Smith.
Now, when's the last time we had an Eagle with 10 touchdowns? Wide receiver.
When the last time we had a Heisman?
Probably,
Heisman
I think Alshon Jeffries had 10.
Yeah, 10 1 year.
We haven't had.
Before that, what was it? T.O.?
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Probably.
We haven't had good wide receivers like that in a while. So I'm just worried about the wide receiver core. I'm just worried, like I said, I'm just worried about their ages. And with a young quarterback,
the only issue I have, the biggest issue I have is the coach. He's a young coach and he's inexperienced. That's two no-nos when you got a young squad.
Well,
like if you got a veteran coach with young guys, he's been through the wars, he's been through the ropes. He know like how to. It's almost like a teacher. Do you want a teacher your age, young? You know what I mean? Nobody would respect a teacher like that unless they're an older person. You know what I mean? So we got this young coach. He talks like a young guy because you heard him doing the paper, rock, scissors and all that. So he got a young mindset. Even when he do his interviews, he's like, "Well, we're gonna come out strong. We're gonna win because we're gonna come out strong and win." Like he talk like that, like in circles. You know what I mean? Right. Saying the same shit. So if we had a veteran coach, I would feel a lot comfortable than having this young dude.
Yeah, that's the same thing the Phillies had. They had their last coach. He was a young coach. He was more of a...
And they made a mistake for firing him because he went to San Francisco.
San Francisco. Look at him now.
Yeah. And I said that was a big mistake because how you fire a coach in 2 years? And then they had a running record. I mean, they didn't go to the playoffs or anything like that, but they had a winning record.
Hey, Doug Peterson, what was he here, 3 years?
Yeah.
Won the Superbowl and got fired.
Oh, he should have got fired.
No, he shouldn't.
Yes, he should have. Because of all that stuff behind the scenes, he should have got fired.
He should have put his foot down and he should have had more control of the
Well,
team.
that's his point. That's
no,
why.
But if they don't give him that power, you can't just.
But he could have just took the initiative and do that. He's the coach, right?
Not if they tell you, not if your quarterback is tight with the owner and the owner say this.
So
is
what?
who you
But
wanna
the
play.
quarterback tight with the owner, they still traded him.
That's because he demanded the trade.
So he demanded a trade, and they just
And
traded him
that was
just
after,
because
that
they
was
liked him.
after the fact. The owner got rid of the coach because of the quarterback, thinking that the quarterback gonna stay if I get rid of the owner. I mean, the quarterback gonna stay if I get rid of the coach. So he got rid of his coach, and then the quarterback turned around and said, "You know what? Fuck it, I want to get out of here too."
So you put a dude that hasn't done anything, you give him all that power. Carson Wentz, what did he do?
He is your coach.
I mean, what's the name had a little bit of power like that? Turner Romo, he ain't never did nothing for them, but he had power because he was tight with the owner. You know what I mean?
This is a prime example of what you said about the Eagles. They don't give him a chance.
Exactly.
It's a prime example. Even goes through the coaching ranks. Yeah, but I agree with him. He shouldn't be gone.
Yes.
I think he was a coach for 3 years. Whatever coach won a Super Bowl in 3 years and got fired.
Yeah. So, and
that
he
shit don't
tried to
happen.
live on that. I won the Super Bowl, so I get to keep a job. No.
He should have.
All that behind the scenes stuff, he should have got fired. You seen that Inquirer report about him? He should have got fired.
No,
Yes, he should have. Yes, he should have. Just for letting Carson Wentz run rampant on the team. No.
You can't do nothing if Carson
If
Wentz
that's
got
the
fucking
case,
the owner.
okay, if I couldn't do
if
anything-
Carson Wentz got owner on speed dial, and he calling the owner, not even talking to you, you can't do nothing about the owner's side with your quarterback. The fuck?
You gotta have some type of control.
Okay, exactly.
You pay these coaches to run the team.
Right,
that's what you
so
want.
your owner has to give that coach control and say,
Exactly.
hey, when Carson called him up, he should have said, talk to Doug, bye.
Okay,
and hung
well,
up the
see,
phone.
if that happened to me, I would have went to the press about it. You're going to lose your job anyway. I've been putting these plays in, and Carson Wentz go to the line and change the play every time.
Oh.
I can't do anything about it because they won't let me they sit him down on the bench. Why not do it?
He could have
You
went
gonna
that.
get fired
They
anyway.
don't do that, but he could have went that route.
You're going to get fired anyway. Now, do you see you read the, well, you're a Cowboys fan,
I'm a
but,
Cowboys fan, yes.
but you didn't read that
But
article.
I didn't read the article. I mean, I keep up with the Eagles. I didn't read that article.
Yeah,
but
well, they said that every time that Carson Wentz will go up to Doug, he didn't like Doug. So every time when Doug gave him a play, he would always go up to the line and change it. If you watch Eagles games and when he always do like that with his chest, that's him changing the plays.
So he would change the play, and then the new play that he changed to don't work out.
Don't work out.
Right.
Now, if it was working out, then hey, go, let's roll with it. He's a smart quarterback. But when the shit don't work out, listen to your coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. It's not Peyton Manning up to change
Exactly.
plays.
You don't have enough wins or experience
Exactly.
to be calling
Definitely
all
have
these
enough
plays
experience.
like
He
that.
doesn't.
And so,
He's still a young quarterback to me. I
Exactly.
mean, Dak Prescott, young quarterback. They're still
Right.
young quarterbacks.
Mhm.
and so when he did that, Doug didn't do anything about it. So that's what I'm saying, that he should have took the extra initiative.
Well,
Put him
you
on the
say
bench.
Doug, but how do you know Doug ain't go to the owner like I can't have this shit? Every time I call a play, he called him. He said, "Well, look, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
if the owner doesn't do anything, then what you want to do? You just gonna just ride it out. You losing your
I mean,
job
it's a
anyway.
job. It's a job.
But you
gonna
lost
do?
your job though. You're gonna lose your job if you step up and say something or not. So why don't you just step up and say something?
Probably because it looked bad. I mean, after you get
It
fired,
looked bad when you
after
get your
get
quarterback.
And
fired,
they think that he won because he won a Super Bowl. It'd be easy for him to get a job somewhere else too. That's
True.
another thing too.
Yeah.
That's true.
I just, you're right. You gotta. I mean, this is everybody's not Jerry Jones. This is not a, owner coach the whole team thing. I think
Well,
you gotta give your
you say that, but now Laurie is becoming Jerry Jones.
yeah. That's what I mean.
Before he used to let the coach run the show, and now he's not.
I don't even think the owner should be on the field unless you won a Super Bowl to play all the. I don't even think they shouldn't be on the field.
Sit in the booth, watch the game,
Exactly.
and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Let your GM, let your coach run the
Let
team
him
the
run
way
the
you
team.
paying him to do it. You know what I mean? And Laurie has changed ever since he gave that power to Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly fucked it up. He has changed. You know what I mean? But you can't look at everybody like they're another Chip Kelly.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you got to give somebody a chance. I mean, obviously it's not working out now, so you got to try something. You got to change something up.
What he did. So now they got a young coach that not going to bark back. He's going to take orders, and that's going to be that.
Yeah, yes, man.
You got a young quarterback that's probably gonna do everything he's telling him to do. You know what I mean? Well, we'll see how it works out this year. We'll see how it works out this year.
All right, we'll take a little break. We'll probably have more people to come on with us. We still waiting for the show to get on the road.
We need to go investigate and see what's going on.
All right, we back, and we got Denni with us. What's up, Denni?
What's happening, yo? How you feeling today, man?
What's going on, Denni? Tell the people a little bit about you. What you got going on with the music? You know what I mean?
A little bit of everything. First thing, I'd like everybody to check us out on the Beastie Boys fan page. Beastie Boys, and Beastie Boys Collection on Facebook.
Because nobody do it like Mixmaster.
Nobody, brother. Beastie Boy Collection on Instagram,
Now, who's your
YouTube.
favorite? Who would you rather have, Hurricane or Mixmaster Mike?
You know what? It's hard for me to say. We just had Hurricane play a show for us the other week, and I think Hurricane, just for the sentimental value, I like to see both of them together in a perfect world, man. Just light it up, man. Those two styles just come together and just not clash but mash.
Now, why did you become a Beastie Boys fan?
To be honest with you, man, it's probably the only white dude rapping that I knew in the mid 80s. When they came out, you sort of gravitated to that because somebody actually did it and they made it, and they sort of became like the soundtrack to everything that was going on in my life back then, man. I seen him. I used to travel with them like people follow the Grateful Dead. I've probably seen them close to 100 times. I seen their last two book tours. The Beastie Boys story I just seen twice when they were in Philly and Brooklyn. And
What's that? Is that?
it was a story that the two remaining guys did. That's
Oh, is that the one they showed on? Was that
on Apple.
Okay.
Yeah, if you see the first row when they pan out, you see two guys in Philly shirts on one of them, man, on the first row. In the Brooklyn show, that was where most of the filming was done at. But there's just something about them, man. They were doing stuff people never did. They broke ground for things, and it's not just, you can't say it's like white rappers because there wasn't a ton of them till like now with all the Eminem clones, what I like to call them. But they set grounds, man, and they were everybody people. You could walk into a Spanish party, people with black folks, Asian people, white people. They had the Beastie Boys.
I guess I could speak for Phil, but that's not really like our age range. Like
Right,
Beastie
right.
Boys is like my sister's maybe age range.
Right, right.
It was
But-
like a little bit before us.
Yeah, but nobody cared about if they was white or not.
No.
Do you agree? Yeah. Nobody.
No,
cared.
no. Well, you get these. That's right. Back then, nobody gave a fuck. These days, they say stuff like culture vultures. Let me tell you something. If they didn't do what they did, there's a lot of stuff we want to see these days out there. Especially with the Rick Rubin-ness that was attached to it, because he's just a sick fuck with his, man. And but yeah, they just became something, man, that were, and they grew. They went from License to Ill when they were young boys having a good time and bullshit into probably the greatest follow-up sophomore record in the history of any kind of music with Paul's Boutique, and they grew up.
I don't know about that one. Oh, it's a good album, by the way.
But yeah, I mean, listen,
But,
I don't. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? But
Because you, it's a lot of albums that you're talking about. Because you're talking about EPMD's second album.
well, yeah, but here's the thing though. EPMD on their first album was still pretty solid. Beastie Boys were just playing on it. I'm just talking about the advancement from one to the other.
Oh, okay. Well, you have Outkast with Aquemini.
Outkast too, like they were, but like I said, like Outkast was always lyricists. I mean, 3000 is one of the best to ever do it. But just coming from girls, fight for your right to party, even though there's some bangers on there.
No, I know what you mean.
But just
I know what
to
you're saying.
take that
Yeah.
step up and
Like that maturity and,
and
the
this-
lyrics and
the versatility,
the
that
production
became-
wise,
yeah,
right,
the
right.
versatility. And again, that's just my thoughts on it. But I love everything they did. I ain't the biggest punk fan in the world, but I respect. I respect what they did with the punk, but the hip hop stuff. And the thing we did in Brooklyn the other week, it was for MCA's birthday. We had a big celebration up in Adamiak Park in Brooklyn.
Now, was he there?
No, he passed away. It was for.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dang.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
No
Was
problem.
anybody from the Beastie Boys there?
We had Hurricane there.
Oh, okay.
We had Say Adams there, who was the first ever visual artist for Def Jam that did a bunch of the record covers. Blase performed out there that day. We had a young boy from New York called Little D, 16, fucking straight killed it. DJ Too Tough from the Tough Crew.
Yeah, boy.
He was the house DJ.
Yeah,
for
we
us.
thought he was gonna be here.
Yeah, he ran that shit. Yeah, we thought he'd be here today, man. I think he's doing a gig somewhere.
This good, then?
Yeah, high power.
High power?
Yeah.
Sure, let me take a picture.
So, can you say what's your favorite Beastie Boys song?
My favorite Beastie Boys song would be. I'd have to say it would probably be Paul Revere, just because of what it represented. In my life, it was everywhere I went. That would probably be my favorite.
That was everywhere, yes.
There was some stuff they did on their later records that some people weren't up on. A song called Rhyme to Rhyme Well. Got a crazy Chuck D sample in it. A song called Long Burn the Fire from the Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. And the song they did for New York after 9/11, Open Letter to NYC. Some of my favorite ones they ever did.
Okay, I liked Paul Revere was good. I liked Hey Ladies,
That's a good part.
and I liked what I just said. Nobody Does It Like Mixed Master. What's the name of that song? When they was in Japan with the.
I got the D-double-O style. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mixed Master.
Okay, well I like that song.
And that record, the Hello Nasty record, actually our group, Beastie, comes from the Beastie Boys song Putting Shame in Your Game. That's the opening line to it. We're actually in a Beastie Boy group that was a public group before we started ours. It got real political, real religious, real racist. Where I come from, they're the things that get you punched in the mouth the quickest. We didn't want to be involved with it. And so we said, let's start our own group. Let's make it private. Let's celebrate the Beastie Boys and old school hip hop and all the things they were about, without race, without politics, we don't give a fuck what your background is. You're a Beastie Boy fan, come join us. Black, white, fat, skinny, rich, poor, high, straight, come join us. Leave all the bullshit outside. You got about 100 moderators and administrators that are like fucking virtual cops. You come in our group, like bringing any of that shit, they'll toss you out. They don't want people to have a bad time. And we get a lot of compliments from people saying it's the best page ever been on because we keep that bullshit out of it, man.
Right. Now, what's your favorite Beastie Boy song, Phil?
Beastie Boys,
You gotta get close.
Beastie Boys, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of theirs. So a lot of times, hate to say this, since y'all are big fans, a lot of times when they came on, I turned.
Oh, that's cool. Damn, that's cool. Wow.
It's just not what I was really listening to. I mean, they was around, you know what I mean, but it's not something that I was following. So y'all go ahead and talk. Let me go ahead and groove
Go ahead and group to what?
this Captain Morgan.
Okay. All right. So now you're an Eagles fan, right?
I'm an Eagles fan, yeah.
Okay. Now we talked about the Eagles and their record. So what do you think their record is going to be this year?
Definitely anything other than a homer. I'll be happy if they get to 500 this year.
Why? Why so low?
A lot of unproven talent around here, man. And you know I'm rooting for them.
We need you to give us a record. because
Right.
There's no 500 this year.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Be lucky to
I
get.
forgot that.
Okay, so 17 games, 8 or 9 will be. Listen, I'll be happy if it's more, but just with the unproven things I see going on here, man. Like quarterback, I hope he's the second coming of Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick. We don't know yet. We don't know if this dude's sent out. We didn't see the fucking guy play in the preseason. We don't know what he can do.
Right.
I'm rooting for him, but the receivers. I mean, the guy that was the best receiver last year ain't got a job no more. The guy they drafted instead of Jefferson, he's still got to show. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever get there, but a lot of questions. It's because of the question marks.
Smith and Rigger is real young, but they got the talent.
Yeah.
They have the talent, but
They got to
we were
learn.
saying
They got to
earlier,
learn
right?
the plays and get a feel for the NFL flow. You know what I mean?
I
Right.
like that we got a linebacking core, Singletary, Wilson. They put something there. they slept on my man Singletary the first year. Me and Dominic were at it. Eagles game, first year he was with them in preseason. He came in like middle of the third quarter and finished with 16 tackles. I'm like, you gotta watch this kid. And how he sat on the bench for a full year and a half. So nice to see him in there doing his thing, man. I hope for more in a shit division. 9-10 wins might get you in that shit division. You know what I mean?
Sound like us.
Yeah, I said
Pretty
10.
much. Yeah, well, I agree.
Yeah, 9-10 may get you division. You never like see what happened last year, but I'm hoping for the best, man.
Right. Now, Philip want to know when the hell we gonna get this fantasy football thing on.
I think we're gonna do it right.
He said,
Oh,
enough with
so-
the beastie talk. He
So,
want to know.
10? I'm not the 10th team.
Other than Beastie Boys, what other groups are you into? It doesn't have to be rap, just
Well,
anything.
my favorite, probably anything that ever did music-wise would be Rakim. To me, there ain't no better to ever bless the microphone.
I like Rocket.
A Rakim guy, man. You know, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, Black Thought, Philly in the house represent, man. Beans. Got to put my Philly stuff down there too. Yeah, I mean all kind of stuff. Classic rock, man. Classic metal.
So-
Anything but country, pretty much.
Okay, so since you talk about Philly rap, what you think about Vinny Paz?
I like Vinny Paz, man. I like Vinny Paz. That's always something nice to hear. If you're with some people that aren't from Philly and you throw it on so that you can maybe educate them if they don't know.
Right.
Definitely like Paz.
And he's like in tip-top shape now.
Yeah.
Now with his music than how he was back then. So yeah, Philip said, get this shit over with.
Yeah, it looks like we're here. Everybody signed in.
All right, so we about to start. All right, this is what we're gonna do, Danny. We're gonna end this,
Okay.
right? But what we're going to do is we'll do the first round of doing this. It'll just be me and him commentating, but the mics is here. If anybody want to sit down and talk about it, then we'll do it then this way. So all right, Phil, we going. You can reach us on Facebook and Twitter at PNL Judgementals, Instagram at the2_Judgementals. You can email us at pnljudgementals@gmail.com. And TikTok at PNL Judgementals. What's your information now? What's your Facebook group?
Facebook, Denny D, that's me. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay, do you do that often? Twitter often?
Yeah, I'm on there pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I'll end it with this. Facebook makes me want to throw the drink in the face of somebody I know. Twitter makes me want to have a drink with a stranger.
All right, y'all, we going.
This money, man.
All right.
Fuck you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you're mad at me just by how your face look. You can check the status on my level, not my Facebook. Comments on my photos, that's why I stay on the low. Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the track. Don't wonder where my crew is at. They'll be back. Niggas see me walking on the block.